Good day. We will have our laboratory exercises for our vision physiology or for the physiology of vision. First will be under the section of light reflex. Under the section of light reflex, we have 4 exercises and this is what we will do.
With the subject facing a window or a source of light, cover both the subject's eyes with the palm of your hands for about 30 seconds. Then abruptly remove your hands and observe immediately the reaction of the subject's eyes to the light, especially the pupils. Cover thereafter the left eye of the subject and observe the size of the pupil of the right eye. Remove the hand covering the left eye and abruptly note the change in the size of the pupil of the right eye.
Next will be
With the subject turned away from the window or source of light, flash a light into his or her eyes. Observe and draw the change in the diameter of the pupils. With the consensual light reflex, place a cardboard vertically in between the eyes of the subject to screen one eye from the other. Flash a light into the right eye, taking care that no light is accidentally transmitted to the left eye. Observe the pupil of the left eye and then illustrate what happened and explain the change seen in the left eye.
and then for the last exercises under light reflex,
Cover the left eye with the palm of your hand. With the right eye, look through a pinhole in a piece of cardboard at a uniform white screen for a few seconds. Then, lift slightly the hand covering the left eye. Note the change in the size and brightness of the visual field of the right eye. Cover the left eye again, then observe. Write your observations and explain.
now for section 2, this is for the inversion of image projection. Under this section, we have 3 exercises. One is to check for the phosphine ring. Next is to check for the shadow. And last will be to check the pinheads on a 2 pinhole in a sheet of paper or card. So this is how we will do it.
Close the eyes and look towards the left side with the eyes still closed. With the index finger, press on your right eyeball at the lateral side of the eye socket. A ring of light is perceived in the visual field of the right eye. This is called the phosphine ring. In what direction did you perceive it? Now look towards the right and press the right eyeball at the medial side of the eye socket. Where is the phosphine ring located now? Explain. Close the eyes and look towards the...
Next will be the shadow of the pin.
Make a pinhole through a sheet of paper or a card. Close the left eye and look through the pinhole with your right eye. While looking through the hole, pass a pin across the hole between the card and the eyes. 2 things will be observed: the pin itself as it moves across the hole and the shadow of the pin. In what direction does this shadow move? Explain.
And last, under the inversion of image and projection,
Make 2 pinholes on a sheet of paper or a card. The pinholes should be about 1 millimeter apart. Close the left eye, and with the right eye, look through the 2 pinholes simultaneously at a distant object. Hold the pin vertically about 1 foot in front of the card with the pinholes. Try to look for the pins through the 2 pinholes. How many pins do you observe? Explain.
So next is under the section of our visual field. Under the section 3, or visual field, we have 2 exercises. We have checking for the blind spot and the size of the visual field.
Make 2 Place this diagram in about 30 centimeters front of the right eye of the subject. Fix the position of the diagram. Wrap a lead pencil in another sheet of paper, leaving only the black tip protruding out. Instruct the subject to fix the gaze of his or her right eye on the big dot in the diagram. It is essential that the subject's gaze should always be on the dot throughout this procedure. Place the tip of the pencil on the dot, then move the pencil slowly across the paper, laterally on the horizontal plane. As the tip is moved lateralwards, there will be a point where the tip will not be seen anymore by the subject. Then the subject must notify the examiner about this, and the point is marked on the diagram by the examiner. Continue moving the tip laterally on the same plane until the subject sees the tip again. This point is again marked on the paper. Repeat moving the tip of the pencil lateralwards from the dot at different angles. Follow the lines on the diagram. A blind area will then be mapped out on the diagram, which corresponds to the size of the blind spot of the retina. Compute the size of the blind spot in the retina, assuming that the nodal point of the lens is 15 millimeters in front of the retina and 5 millimeters behind the anterior surface of the cornea. Map out the blind spot of the left eye in the same manner.
So next exercise is for the size of the visual field. In this part, we have to use our perimeter. Okay.
With the use of the perimeter, we can determine the contour and approximate the size of the visual field for each eye. Consult the staff in charge for instructions on how to use the perimeter.
So what you just need to do is look at the label here, then from the lateral portion of the visual field, okay, you will move your one with the red spot towards the medial aspect of the eye. Then the patient will tell us if she could see now the red spot. Okay, so that's 75. So what you need to do is to plot it on your worksheet. Then after that, you have here, as you can see here, different angles with certain degrees. After 0 degrees, now you move on the 15 degrees. Then check again with the same procedure. Okay, ma'am, just tell me if you could see the red spot while looking on the mirror.
Nakikita ko na po.
Okay, and that's 80. So next, 30 degrees. So every 15 degrees until you reach again up to the 0 degrees with the same procedure.
With the use of the
So this is the initial perimeter result, and then this is the after. So what you will do is every 15 degrees, you have to rotate your perimeter and record up until what number did the patient already told you that he or she already noted for the dot. And then after which, after every 15 degrees, this is how it will look like. So notice that this is the side wherein the patient wasn't able to see the red dot on your perimeter. Okay, so that's how we will plot after we already check the size of the visual field of the patient. And this graph is actually located in your manual. And then again, in your SGD, you have to tell us what limits the visual field. Okay. So for the next section, we have the section of your visual acuity. So for your visual acuity, what we usually use is your Snellen's chart. So what we will do ideally is ask the subject to stand or sit at a distance 20 feet away from the Snellen's chart and determine the visual acuity for each eye. Okay. So again, we usually try to ask the patient to read the different lines or different letters and then check for the patient's visual acuity. In your SGD, you have to tell us what does the numerator mean and what is this numerator and what is this denominator. Okay? And then next, for the section of your color vision, we actually have two charts. We have your Ishihara chart and we have the American Optical Instrument.
There are several tests for color vision involving the use of colored plates. One is the Ishihara chart and this one, the American Optical Instrument Division chart.
So what you will do is to just ask the patient to identify the shapes. And then, if ever there will be unidentified shapes or color, you have to take note of that. Okay? And then next will be on the section of our binocular or stereoscopic acuity.
These are the materials that we will be using to test for binocular or stereoscopic acuity.
So again, how we will do it is to ask the subject to be at least 2 meters away from this pen and 4 meters away with 2 eyes closed and 2 eyes open. So this is how we do it.
Place 2 rods or pencils 5 centimeters apart on the table, but with one pencil placed about 30 centimeters farther back than the other pencil. Allow a subject to sit directly in front of the 2 rods 2 meters from rod B. Move rod A slowly forward while the subject observes with both eyes. until the rods appear to be at the same depth or distance. Now the subject will tell the examiner if the two pencils are now perpendicularly or parallel in alignment. Measure the resolvable distance or the perpendicular distance between the two planes occupied by each rod wherein they appear to be of the same distance from the subject. Make at least 3 trials. Cover one eye and repeat the procedure. What did you observe?
So in your SGD, you have to tell us under this binocular or stereoscopic cavity, what is the importance of the resolvable distance? Okay. For our next section, section 7, retinal train or nystagmus.
The subject will look at the alternate black and gray vertical lines on the drum while the drum is turned by hand at different speeds. Slowly, or rapidly. As in the clockwise and counterclockwise, whether in vertical or horizontal position. Explain your observations.
So again, that is under section 5 for a retinal or train nystagmus. So our second to the last exercise is all about optics.
The subject
So for our optics, what we need is a meter stick. We need to also have an object, a lens that will represent the lens of the eye, and a white cardboard that represents our retina. Notice that the object is an arrow which is facing towards the examiner. But the image projected at the screen, which represents our retina, is inverted. So for our first experiment, under optics, place the screen about 50 centimeters away from the object. Interpose a lens between the object and the screen at such a distance as to have the image of the object sharply focused on the screen. Determine the refractive power of the lens using the formula. So in this setup, the DO, distance of object from the nodal point of the lens, is that part. And the DI, the distance of the image from the nodal point of the lens, that is your DI. Now, let's place a lens about 30 centimeters in front of the screen and 30 centimeters in front of the object. Please take note the image projected on the screen that represents our retina. Now see what will happen to the sharpness of the image on the screen when the object is brought nearer. Now at this point, explain why some person are nearsighted.
And for our last experiment under optics,
Now, so next, using one regular lens, put the screen 90 centimeter away from the object and focus the image clearly on the screen. Move the screen towards the object slowly and observe what happens to the sharpness of the image on the screen. Now at this point, explain why some persons are farsighted.
okay, for our last exercise for our laboratory, we have your after image. When you're talking about after image again, you have two. You have a positive and negative after image. So this is how we do it.
Fix your gaze on colored objects placed against a white screen for 15 to 30 seconds. Then, shift your gaze to a white blank screen or a wall. What do you observe? Explain.
And then another under the section of after image.
Next, fix your gaze on colored objects placed against a black background for 15 to 30 seconds. Then, close your eyes. What do you observe? Explain.
Okay, so in your SGD with regards to your after image, you have to tell us which among the two experiment under the section of after image is the positive and which among it is the negative after image. So again, please submit your observation in your model and then the explanation next week during your SGD. I hope you enjoyed our laboratory exercises this afternoon. Thank you and stay safe.